Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to our Wednesday flash briefing. I'm Verl Workman at Workman Success Systems, and I am so excited today. You know, it's crazy. It's the day after election, crazy things going on in the country, but we're going to focus today 100% on how to grow your business and how to level up. And we've got an incredible guest with us. We have Workman Success Systems Master Coach, broker owner of RE/MAX Professionals, Nate Martinez. Nate, welcome to the call today.
Thank you, Verl. I'm excited to share some thoughts with you guys today.
All right, so Nate, as we get into this, just give us a snapshot of your business. Tell us a little bit about. I'd like to hear about your company, your real estate brokerage, as well as your team.
Okay, been in the business 34 years. Opened up a RE/MAX franchise in 19 years ago. We got about 145 agents within the company. The company's pretty much ran by an amazing group of people, CEO, broker assistant. Pretty much, I'm the visionary of that company. You know, we have meetings with the leadership team, but that kind of flows pretty much on its own by having great people.
That's great leadership.
My team it consists of 9 individuals, and plus myself 10, and only 2 admin and 6 team members that are licensed that sell. Actually, my 2 admin are licensed as well. Awesome. We focus pretty much in the general Phoenix metropolitan area. Our brokerage has an office in Phoenix, Glendale, Surprise, and Avondale, and pretty much that's our market area. The company for years has done north of 3,000 transactions.
Wow.
I think our highest was over 4,000 back in the REO days. We've got a great set of agents. We've had, pretty proud that for over a decade now, Riz Media has ranked us as one of the top producing, when it comes to transactions per agents, companies in the United States. I think we ranked number 32 last year, which is great. So we're not huge, but we're mighty.
You do a lot of business. That's really, we have that conversation all the time. I would rather have fewer people doing a lot of business and, doing really well than a whole bunch of people that are not really into it.
I agree with that.
And so now tell me about your team's 9, and you've got your brokerage. So here we are in November. Can you believe it's already November?
Yeah, it's crazy. This keeps on going.
This has been a wild year. So I want to hear what you guys did. How is your business this year in the midst of all this pandemic? Did you guys stick your head in the sand and go away, or did you lean into it and grow?
Well, when I was a broker owner back when the real estate market crashed, some 15 plus years ago now, I was really worried. I was worried from the broker sense, like, God, you have, and think about it, if you're a broker, you have a broker, right? I mean, there's a lot of capital investment and reoccurring expenses and capital for employees, capital for leases, etc. You get this mindset like, oh my God, here we go again. And there was about 3 months where our market really froze in the Phoenix area. Being part of the Workman system and the encouragement and being able to hear great success stories from all over the country of people that are just putting their head down and going to work. Of course, we did the same. It wasn't like 3 months later, we're like busier than we've ever been. It was back when I had an REO account, so we had so many offers coming in. Our market just pretty much was lit on fire. And even 7 months into a pandemic, I'm scratching my head that we are so busy. Here we are, election, hasn't really slowed down,
Right.
So, the market's been good. Our business, by the way, is, I would say we're on target to where we were last year. I'm not saying we're ahead of last year's number. I will say that I feel that we'll be more profitable because the business has changed and we've changed some things internally. Maybe some of our marketing we've tweaked and cut back on, but pretty much we're pretty much full steam ahead.
I think that's really important. If you do the same amount of business but you grow your margins, that's a great way to measure success. A lot of people think it's gross profit that matters, but it's really not. It's our net. It's how much you have left at the end of the day, and not enough people focus on that.
Yeah, we focus on the word gross income. It's pretty gross sometimes when you don't control your spending or know what's bringing you a return and you're just throwing money out there. it doesn't make sense. And many of us have done that over the years, right? Where it's kind of you don't really realize you're just kind of going at it. You have goals. And I'll share a story from 20 plus years ago. I had the goal to be the #1 Remax agent in our region, right? At that point in time, it didn't matter. Every dime I made, I put back into more marketing, keep fueling the system. I achieved that goal, but I was upside down with the IRS. Marriage was falling apart. I was driven by the wrong message, right? And the wrong goal. And, so your goals should be more well-rounded, and profitability has got to be key, and I love Stephen Covey's, start with the end in mind attitude.
Right.
I started with the end in mind to be #1. I should have started in to be #1 profitable, right? Because it would have been a whole different layout of exercises. Just it would have been done different, But you have that knowledge. I've learned from it, and I'm still learning.
Yeah, I think that's really cool. Hey, for our listeners, for those of you that are listening on to Facebook Live, I encourage you to come in, use the comment, say hello to Nate. Let us know where you're from, where you're listening in from. And also, if you have any questions, Nate Martinez runs an incredible team, an incredible brokerage, has had just terrific success with a bunch of different things. Nate, has everything you've ever done from a marketing perspective worked, or have you failed a little bit along the way?
No, I think everything works to some extent. You may not get the result I'm looking for, right? When you're marketing, you really have to understand who you're marketing to and what your expectations are. I'll give you an example. I've been around people that want to start farming, right? Marketing to a geographic area.
Right.
What I find, they said, "Oh, I did that, didn't work." Well, how long did you do it? Well, I did it like 3 months. How many people did you mail to? Like 500 a month. How many people move in that geographic area? I don't know. Well, again, they're starting with the wrong goal. They're thinking they can spend money and there's going to be a return. And in some cases there are, right? That might be just dumb luck. But with marketing, you have to be very specific on what you're marketing to. Example, let's say you're going to market to a geographic area. I'm just going to use round numbers, make it simple. There's 1,000 homes. Okay. Let's say your budget is $1,000 a month. So whatever marketing piece gets delivered to that house is roughly about $1 per house. Now, how often you're going to send to that group is going to be important. Is it once a year, once a quarter, every other month, monthly, weekly, whatever it may be? How big is your budget, right? But really, we need to investigate the 1,000 homes and do research before we spend one thin dime in marketing. And that would be, Verl, to find out how many homes sold of those 1,000 homes, let's say in the last 12 months, right? On average, you probably see in neighborhoods about 5 to 7% on maybe the top end where you have turnover. So let's just use 5. So that means there's 50 homes going to sell a year in that farm area, 1,000 homes. Okay. Maybe it's at 7, right? 7% return. Maybe there's 70 homes, but let's just stick with 50 homes a year. Well, divide that by 12, right? You're going to have very few people each month even thinking about selling. So if I mailed you, Verl, a postcard and you're not thinking of selling, are you going to respond to it? No, right? You might be one of those 50 that are moving, but maybe you're not going to move until next September.
Right.
Right. So what you start to do is if you make a decision to quit marketing after 2 or 3 months, you pretty much have wasted your investment, right? It's trying to own a piece of their mind. Now, it's my goal as a marketer to at least have something of value that they can touch, feels quality, looks good, and over the trash can, as a lot of people open their mail, I want them to see Nate Martinez and throw me away, right? I want it to be of high quality, but I want it to be at the lowest possible cost that I can deliver that message, right? Because I understand it's the long game, right? I understand the community I'm in today. I'm one of 2 dominant realtors that, between myself and this other firm, pretty much control that master plan community, right? And both of us have been heavy marketers into this community. There are still, in any community, I like to say there's 5 spokes, right? There's 5 people that are pretty much dominating the market, right? You know, you're going to have your guys that are doing over 10% market share, and then people maybe doing between 5 and 10. But after, 4 or 5 people, what I find is in any market I analyze for agents is that most of the business is done by one-off realtors, meaning they listed with their sister, but their sister lived 30 miles away and is never going to do another piece of business in that community. Whatever the source is, another friend, but I call them one-offs, right? They're only going to do one. But there's going to always be a consistent, and what I found and I've coined is there's about 5 agents that are pretty strong in just about any marketplace. If you're coming into that marketplace, you also have to understand that competition, right? Let's say the top 3 control 50% of the market. Do you want to enter that market? Well, if you do, you got to understand that if there's only 50 deals and they're taking 25 of them, that's leaving 25 less for the rest. So you have to figure out what is your goal to get in there and chip away at, right? So that's just kind of my analysis of what we need to do. And you may not just pick a neighborhood because you live in it. You want to pick a neighborhood that has good enough turnover, that whatever marketing dollar you spend, that there will be a return at the end of the year. I don't plan on a return in the first 2, 3, maybe even 6 months when starting a farm area.
Yeah, I tell people if they're going to start a farm, they have to financially be prepared for 18 months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and if you'll go 18 months, you'll never stop it because it'll start paying you. It'll start paying off. But if you quit, it won't. So you brought up a couple of things I'm going to ask you a little bit, some more specifics on. So what kind of turnover are you looking for in a neighborhood? So in order for a neighborhood to say, yeah, it's got good turnover, I think I should target that. What's a good turnover number?
I'd like to see 7. I get pretty excited if I see 7 plus, right? It gets to be really exciting because you have more opportunities. Less than 7, and if it's more than 5, and again, depends on your price point and the churn, if you will, how often people are moving. You just got to plan for that, right? And I think, Verl, your marketing message and the quality of the piece should mirror the homeowners, right? If it's a blue collar neighborhood, a lot of pickup trucks and construction workers, you don't need really high end, high glossy materials. You need good quality materials. But if you're marketing a luxury neighborhood or community, you couldn't send out Xerox, right? You couldn't send out, like I printed out some flyers off my color copier. You need a higher quality. So just whatever you're marketing, just try to match the market, your audience.
So you used a number of $1 a door. Is that about what you spend in direct mail for the stuff that you send out?
I can give you a couple of examples of what we do.
Love
right?
Yeah.
So this is a piece that I use. This one's a little more expensive, and this is more direct marketed to a community. This goes to my community I was talking about, is Blackstone Country Club. This piece is printed on what's called variable print. So that means we can add the homeowner's name multiple times in the piece, where we're speaking to Verl, right? We're not just speaking to post box XYZ, right? So this piece is, I think it's probably about $1.65 to $1.85 a house. But here's what I want to tell you about a piece like this. This is done by a third-party company. I don't touch it, right? And think about that for a minute. I'm not doing the research. They have access for our MLS. They do all the data, the stats, the just listed, just sold information that they put inside the piece. They graph it all out. They print it and mail it. And my participation is I make sure I pay the monthly bill, right? So that's one style, okay?
So before you move on from that, how many of those do you send out a month?
That one is, I do the 2 communities. One is called Arrowhead Lakes and one is called Blackstone Country Club. Those are smaller mailings, probably about 400-ish, okay? Kind of a niche, all right? And sometimes I don't send out the big piece. Like here's one for Arrowhead. We just, we did a smaller piece, right? Just different dimensions. But again, all this graph and all this research, they went in and did the research on the neighborhood. And again, this is just for a very small segment called Arrowhead Lakes. Arrowhead Lakes happens to reside on some built waterways, so it's kind of a magnet community. It is part of a master plan community called Arrowhead Ranch. It's like 5,000 acres.
Wow.
But this is like a little quarter mile, right? Very small niche. And so with those ones, I use that third-party company to do that type of work. Now, the community I live in is Blackstone, which is part of a community called Vistancia, which is a market that we've targeted for the last 5-6 years. Okay, we used to live and work in Arrowhead Ranch. Now we live and work in Vistancia, although we still do a lot of business in Arrowhead Ranch. But our new focus was Vistancia, closer drive time, right? So when I was working Arrowhead for many years, I used to always look, how can I deliver a high quality piece at a lower cost? And there's always a magazine that you can go inside and take a corner, an eighth of a page, a half a page, and you're inside a magazine with a bunch of other realtors. I have never done an ad like that. I think that's a waste of money, okay? But if I can score the back page, again, I get a 50-50 chance when they get this, what I would call junk mail, right, coming in that they didn't ask for, coming to the mailbox. On the way to the trash, they can see my message, okay? So I was doing another piece like this for some smaller areas of Estancia, which was probably about another 500 or 600 homes, very targeted to the gated communities in there. I pulled out of there because this is a magazine, and there's a Estancia Living. This is produced for the HOA, and all the articles inside are from the HOA. How to care for your lawn, something about hiking, different plants, whatever, right? And there's a few advertisements inside, right? Because of COVID, and here's where you take advantage of things, right? I would never advertise in this publication because I didn't want to be one of the people inside that may never get read. Because of COVID, this page came black. And it says, if you want to advertise, because the advertiser quit advertising because of COVID. So I'm out. And it came to my, it came actually the month before. I never even saw the magazine, right? But when it came in, I noticed it was black and it says, if you want to be advertised here. I couldn't grab my phone fast enough to inquire, right? Because now I can hit 4,000 plus homes.
Wow.
For just over $1,000.
And they invite it into the home. It's not something that it's spam.
Right, and this one, and I was saying, what do you do here? So on this one here, you really can't see, but I kind of showed them what we do as far as our professional photography, our social marketing, our virtual tours using the Matterport. What else do I have on there? Professional photography, social media, our print marketing, showing our print marketing that we send out, and that was the first one that went out, right? Got a listing on it, right? So,
really?
Yeah,
So how much was that listing?
Well, it's 500, and I actually registered the new home, which was another 500, so $1 million.
Okay, so now what? So now you've done off that one property, you'll do enough income to pay for it for the next 2 years. You don't have to think about everything else.
Or beyond, right? Because I mean, it's $1 million times 3 is $30,000. I guess that'd be 30 months, yeah.
Yeah.
So
a couple questions on Facebook that came in. Who do you use? Those brochures that you're saying, those 1 and 2 page, the half page, those are sharp. Mm-hmm. And the market data, the fact they do it all for under $2 is a pretty good deal. Who does that for you? Who's the company?
The company is called Real Marketing of California. I think it's Real Marketing of California. They David Collins is the owner, and he's got offices on the East Coast and West Coast, and I think in Canada. And it's very targeted just for real estate, and they just focus on real estate. They actually join your board as an affiliate member to be able to get the feed from MLS to do all the work for you. So it's a great service, right? And it's a contract. And here's the nice thing about it: as long as I'm mailing to Blackstone, he'll never sell it to anybody else. So he believes there's enough subdivisions in there not to compete against each other,
That's
right?
awesome.
So, we got a lot of our agents in our company use that. I'm probably one that's the most consistent with it. I've never stopped. I did, just like I said, stop the Distancia one because I did find this other piece, again, to be able to deliver a good message. And again, the 4,000 is high volume, right?
Yeah. So Nate, I remember when you decided you were going to kind of change and go transition from doing high volume, low dollar real estate to do more luxury and more. That's a mind shift. What happened? What did you have to do differently? How did you think differently about business when you made that shift?
Well, first of all, you have to immerse yourself in it, right? You have to start going and previewing these luxury homes. You have to, start learning what kind of luxury home tours. I actually met Tanya on a luxury home tour. Probably the best day of my life, right?
That was a good fun.
Getting involved in learning that market on a local level, but also, as you can see, I'm with Remax. Remax has a luxury system, luxury training, luxury forum, luxury websites, luxury stuff, right? And so I leaned in there and started getting a lot of information. And most brands have this, right? It's not nothing new. And then I also joined the Certified Luxury Home Marketing Specialist Group, which is a non-branded group, which is a great group. If you really want to learn luxury, that's a good way to kind of get information. And I started going to their luxury events and other luxury events that were coming around. And I'm just this fly on the wall. I have no luxury listings, and I'm hanging around with people that have luxury listings, and you start getting mailings from them, and you see. Matter of fact, this next piece right here, I've been doing this piece probably well over 10 years.
So hold
And
it
I
still
learned
so I can
this
see it.
piece from a guy named Albert, and he's in Glendale, California. And he just told me how to do it, and I just started using his printer. And this right here, Verl, is just a just listed or a just sold type postcard, but it's 8.5 by 11. You can see it's high glossy. It's cardstock, right? It feels expensive, and that's just the house, right? So we started, when we would get one of these higher end homes, we would mail these out through Every Door Direct, right? Every Door Direct is a program by the United States Postal Service. And during COVID, they even lowered the rate. I couldn't even believe that was possible, right? But they lowered the rate down a penny or so, So Every Door Direct, I can mail. It's as close to first class as you can get. I can deliver these off at the post office today. They'll be delivered tomorrow, right? It's crazy.
Wow.
All right. And there is no name on here of the recipient. So how it works is they have to get bundled in 50. So the printer just bundles them up for us. We have to go in there and say, what area do we want? We go into Every Door Direct real quick. You put in the address. You say how many homes you want to sell it to. You just start pulling out this thing, and it'll tell you in this area there's 927 homes, or there's 5. I always mail up somewhere 5,000 homes is what we're doing. We cut it back in COVID to 2,500. Now, I want you to think about this, right? 14 cents a piece to be mailed into your door within 1 day of dropping off the post office.
Now,
If you have bills,
printing?
no, I don't have any bills out here, thank God, right? But you have smaller envelopes, and this thing is sticking up in your mailbox, right? Oh yeah, here's a regular envelope, right? So if there's mail, this thing is like big, right? So the printing I have down, and here's a thought. What Albert taught me was he used a print broker in LA. So I use his print broker, and what they do is they gang print stuff, right? They have these big, massive rolls where they might have all types of sizes of high quality printing going on, but they run them through the press, not one off. I'm sharing the press with hundreds or 20 or 30 different other advertisers, and then when they cut it down to size, so these come out to about 14 cents a piece to print, about 14 cents to mail. So 28 cents.
Wow.
And again, and these type of things too, We've done homes. We've done all the homes we sold in a quarter. We've done specific luxury events or coming soon. Can't really do the coming soon much anymore. Now,
before you get it printed.
yeah. But, so it's just a system. So we just know on our team, we have everything fairly well simple. We have the systems in place. Like if I list a house at 500,000, I never have to tell Christine what to do. I just call Christine. I tell her, here's the price. Here's the commission structure. I'm done. She fills out all the paperwork, gets all the signatures, gets it back. She orders the photographer, the video guy, and right now our photographer, our video guy, and our drone guy are all the same guy. And he also does the Matterport. Again, outsourcing to somebody that can. I mean, I would have to outsource 3 or 4 times. Now, one guy just does it all. It's amazing.
Yeah, so cool.
So she orders all that. She knows because of the price point, because we have it broken down on how we price homes on what marketing plan they're going to get. So again, this will go out. My son, Nate Jr., will go online. He'll figure out the route they wants to go to. He'll pay for the credit card, and it's paid for. The postage is paid for ahead of time. Our runner takes the postcards down with the pieces of paper, and they just send them out. It's again simple, inexpensive, and high touch, right? So that's pretty much all I spend money marketing. There's really nothing I spend money else other than that.
You've been doing it for a long time. You're kind of a marketing guru when it comes to direct mail and getting a response. What are some of the things you've changed over the years, or that you're doing recently that are giving you a better response? I notice you're doing more market data, more visually pleasing stuff. What are some of the messaging things that you've done that have made a difference?
Well, a lot of times, it is a great listing tool. Hear me out here. So if you're in a community and I don't have a formal marketing plan for your community, right? Because this is a pretty wide area, like Glendale and Peoria, right? And you get these often over the course of years. When you're ready to list, I just listed a house the other day for $1.5 million, one of these, right? How'd you find me? I get those postcards now and again. He probably gets 4 or 5 in his neighborhood over the course of a year. $1.5 million, and he's also going to buy from us. So, it's repetition. People want to see their house marketed, right?
Right.
What I've done with these pieces, so this is, like I said, we'll do a just listed, maybe a just sold, but not too often we do a just sold. We will, like I said, we'll have a bunch of different houses of a just sold and say in the last quarter we sold these houses in your community and send that out. As far as luxury, I did do a piece, I don't think I have that handy, but it folds out, Verl. It's 4 times the size of this. It gets mailed this size. When you open it up, it's 4 times this size, double-sided. It's pretty cool. And I did that at one time I had about 6 luxury homes ranging from, I think, $1.5 million to $3 million. And in my area, we don't have like luxury home neighborhoods. They're kind of hodgepodge all over. It's not like Paradise Valley or North Scottsdale where there's a high concentration. These are kind of all over, so it's hard to target. So, but on those ones, we did first class mail to them because we got a list of people. And there's ways for you to get list of income and how much income a household has. So we would target a higher level income home with the other pieces. Just different ways. This same ad I did here, right, where we're showing our services.
Yep.
I did a postcard out to Arrowhead Ranch. Remember I told you about Arrowhead, my old community?
Yep. 1
mailing, got 1 listing, right? And we did that same exact postcard to Vistancia. 1 mailing, got 1 listing. That was last month, right? So we just took the same information, duplicated to 2 different mailing areas. Of course, the one that went to Arrowhead Ranch kind of highlighted Arrowhead Ranch, right? The one that went to Vistancia kind of had verbiage in it about Vistancia, right? So it's kind of messaging to, again, who the receiver is.
So I love the marketing ideas and the thoughts, and especially the focus on direct mail. I have a couple questions. So just to put it in perspective for those who are participating, and you've got lots of comments and a lot of love out there. Your coach Cleve says Nate's such a smart guy. You get people from literally all over the country piping in to say hello to you. But this is an important question. This question is simply, Nate, how much business, if this is your primary marketing tool and you're using this to go after these geographic areas, how much business does your team do? How many families will you serve this year?
I'm looking at my tracker right now. I think we'll serve probably about 150, 160. It's kind of what we've been doing for several years. Before the REO world came, we did as many as 680 sales that year. Before that, we were pretty consistent selling about 300 homes a year, but that was a lower price point, you know. And
you're more profitable today doing 150 nicer
oh
homes.
yeah.
With better marketing than you ever were doing 300 and 400 and 500 houses.
Yeah, you know, I mean, marketing. You know, I mean, let's say, you know, whatever number you spend on marketing, you know, if you can keep that down to 10% of your gross number, I think that's a really good margin, right? You can spend 10% of your gross dollar marketing. Doesn't mean your business is going to come all from that marketing. And what's really hard, you know, the tracker is probably my favorite tool, but being able to look at where business comes in from and where it closes is very important. And I just got to thank you, because you introduced the trackers to me about 4 years ago. And for 30 years, I thought I did a pretty good job of tracking my closings, right? Like, we got the closing, we knew that that person came from a sign, or that came from a past client or a referral or whatever it was. We knew, but what we never knew was all the marketing we were doing. What was our conversion ratio? How many people were actually saying hi to our marketing or responding? And by using the lead tracker, that has been, you know, I'm looking at my tracker. Can I share it? Is it possible?
I think so. Sure. We'll see.
Okay. All right. So, I mean, here's the tracker, right? Now, this lead tracker shows this year we put in 587 leads into our tracker, right? And this is just leads coming in. These aren't sales. This is just our leads. And when we put a lead into the tracker, we're not putting in like every online pay-per-click lead, you know, but these are fairly good leads, right? So I know that we had 19 leads this year, agent referrals worth about $222,000 of potential commissions, right? I would tell you that a lead coming from a referral source, like a one-to-one, an agent to you from their client, it's a high probability of I mean, we're probably going to close 70, 80% of those leads. Why not 100, you might ask? Well, because sometimes they refer to more than one person, or, you know, they stumble into town and fall into a builder before you get to meet them, you know. But so we have a high percentage, right? Client referrals. Again, we have 14 client referrals. And what really gets really difficult, my Blackstone sphere of influence is my neighborhood. I mean, is it a postcard? Is it because they see me golfing? It's really hard, right? So a lot of these things clump together. It shows on here we only got 6 for my EDM postcards, right? But it was worth $125,000 in revenue, potentially, you know, in all the different things. But here's the kicker. Open houses generated 139 active names, phone numbers from an open house. Now, we might have had 400 or 500 people come through. Whoops, sorry. But basically, 33% of our business leads came from open houses this year, with the potential income of $2.1 million in commissions.
Wow.
So if we only convert 10% of those, it's still 200,000, right? It's pretty cool, but being able to see your lead sources and tracking them where they're coming from is important, because I just never did that, Verl. Just never thought about that. And then when you can open up another tracker, right? I think I got one here. Let me just open that up real quick.
People are going to get all freaked out. They're going to love this stuff.
Yeah.
This is all Workman Success. You know, Nate's been a coaching client for a long time. Now he's a master coach, and he works with clients, and he works specifically with brokers and owners who also run 7-figure teams. And so Nate gets our highest level clients and he does a tremendous job with them. And so Nate's showing you that he runs his business the way he coaches other people to run theirs, which is really cool, Nate. I'm glad to see you doing it.
Yeah. So can you see the transaction tracker? I don't know what switched on there.
I see the lead tracker still.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to stop and reshare. Okay. So this tracker is tied to the lead tracker. And then you can go, you have this section here, and it's pretty cool because it shows how many, I only closed 3 buyers. You're going to be proud of me, Verl, 3 buyers this year. And it closed 27 listings for a total of 30 deals, right? About $16 million a buyer. That's my production. The team, we did about 42 million year to date. And so you remember before coaching, I might have been doing 40 million, but I was doing 90% of the pot.
Yeah, you're doing
now. I don't know, what am I doing? Less than 20%, But the team is rocking, right? And I can see their production. And we're still closing. So we've closed 105 deals year to date, 54 buyer sides, 51 listings. Still got to work on that ratio. But what this does, it takes all the leads that we had from the last tracker and throws them in here by category. And then the ones that close, then we can start seeing what is our highest percentage of conversion. And I'm sure without everybody in this call knows that your past client database is going to be your highest conversion, as long as you stay in touch with them, right? I have a process to stay in touch with my past clients. Real simple, old school, 4-panel, full color newsletter.
Okay.
It really has my listings on it, but that you'll get that every month. If you bought one of my listings and I never met you, you had a realtor, we just forget to take you off the mailing list, right? And that just continues to go out. And we track them. We call those orphan clients. So we get business from orphan clients. Look at this. We got 10 leads from orphan clients. Not saying that we haven't closed them yet, but we had 10 people call us that we never met before, but bought one of our listings this year, right?
Unreal.
So you can kind of see, like, and here's the example, and I'll stop the share. But the example was one of the first years we were doing this, and I'll mention names. I was using Boomtown, and I was new to Boomtown, and I thought, man, if I at Boomtown, I'm going to sell an extra 100 homes, and we're just going to really rock and roll. We started doing all this pay-per-click, and we started getting all these leads, and it was like exciting, you get like 100, 200 leads a month. And then we were doing the same thing with Zillow, and we were getting all these leads. And again, I don't like to lead generate like that. I like relationship business, or people call me. I prefer you to call me than me call you. So we started getting all this business, this wave of business. And after 10 months of strong tracking, we noticed and it might have been us internally, so I'm not blaming anybody but ourselves. But what we noticed, we had a higher conversion ratio for spending the same dollar amount on Boomtown as we did on Zillow, right? Now we spend $0 on lead generation, right, online today. But what we found that I think at that time, we probably sold like 10 Zillow leads versus 1 from Boomtown. So we had a 10-to-1. And my son Nate and I were talking with Nate, because why don't we just take the money from Boomtown and double down on Zillow? So that's what we did, right? And we ran that game with Zillow for a while. And again, we have not spent a dime on Zillow in over a year. So just different styles, right? But what we found, if we're going to be weak at one, we can either try to fix it, or we can double down on the one that's given us a double return, or in that case, 10 times return. Would have never known that if we weren't using the lead tracker. Would have had no clue.
It's so important. People think that it's a pain in the butt to track things and they push back on it. But the reality is, if you don't have the awareness, you don't know what's going on, you make poor decisions in your business. And it's fun to see that you've implemented the systems, you're following, and you're actually making smart decisions. Now we have other people, and I'm a fan of Boomtown. I've got more clients that have success than don't. And so I like Boomtown, and we have a lot of clients that work it differently and they get a different result. And sometimes it's geographic. And I've got other people that kill it with Zillow. I'm really proud of you. I think Zillow's a little bit scary as they're getting more and more into the real estate business. They're going to eliminate us as realtors overall. I mean, eventually, they're going to be our big broker competitor. And so, we get reliant upon buying those types of leads, and they go away. and now you don't have any kind of a business. Your business is self-generated, and that's what I love about it. It's sustainable, it's consistent marketing, and I hope everybody's paying attention to this. Nate doesn't spend a ton of money, but he's consistent with what he spends. And at COVID, he pulled back a little bit, and then he found an opportunity to take advantage of somebody else pulling out of the magazine, and he turned that on. So, Nate, I'm really proud of the success that you're having, and it's really fun to have you share marketing ideas with people. If you were to give our audience just like one piece of advice, what's something you've done in the last, I don't know, 4 or 5 years that has made like a genuine impact on your business? Like what have you done that you say, you know what, this is something I'm glad I did because it's paid off so well?
Now, I know you're not setting me up because you don't know what I'm going to say, but
I have no idea.
I would say that coaching, right? So, I mean, see this stuff, you don't get great for a reason. You get great because you get old, right? So I'm 60 years old. I've been in the business 34 years. I've won every award that RE/MAX pretty much has when it comes to the career awards. And, so I know how to sell. We know how to make money. But my life has changed from a few principles that I learned through Workman Success, right? Trackers, as you can see, I get really amped up when I'm talking about trackers. The perfect week, we've heard that concept for 10 years. I mean, but when Verl was coaching me, the perfect week came into play. And how do you because I was at that time, guys, you got to understand, about 5-6 years ago, I was working 24/7, right? Today, you won't believe me, but my work is like that. I bet you I spend in my real estate team less than 30 hours a week, right? I'm home every single night. I'm home every weekend. I did mention I'm going to have a really good year this year, Verl. My bottom line net is probably going to be about the same as last year. But I played 52 rounds of golf this year. COVID has kept me home, right? And I used to travel quite a bit. But, I think having a better quality of life based on, I guess it would be fair to say before I met, right, I've known Verl for 20 plus years. Before I started taking on a coach again, because I've had several over the years, was to go from being a hamster running full speed in a wheel to chilling out. I mean, I'm still pretty hyper, right? I'm still doing a lot of stuff, but I don't have to be the guy anymore. And so what I really changed both in my real estate company and on my team is the more I can help and train and teach our agents to better themselves, the better everything else gets, right? The more I step out of production and start to be a coach to the people that I love and help them build their business, the more the business is growing. And I would not have thought that would happen, right? I thought I was the man, right? It was all about me.
Well, you are the man, but isn't that's such a cool concept?
But you check my ego at the door, right? It's like, hey, you know what? Look at these other people that are doing this. Look at this other model. And you start following models, and it's like, if you are good at internet, or you want to be good at internet, you wouldn't want me as your model, because I don't excel in conversion of internet leads at a high level. I'm not a high level spender at that. But if that is your model, you find the model that you want to follow and plug into them and see what they're doing. But I know within our group, right, our collective group with Workman, there are so many models, right? We all have these 12 key concepts that we all try to master, but some people master and focus here, right? That's why we have pillars. Where do you want to build your business, So I think for me, it was coaching, right? And I think that's probably, and I always have coaches. I have multiple coaches. You have trainers. You have different people, different types of coaches. I had a coach last year that was specifically for my RE/MAX company. At the same time, Success Systems are coaching not only my team now, we employ all of the Workman Success Systems for our real estate company. We just started our own, and thank you, our own 120-day listing challenge to double our listings in the next 120 days. We got a full app. We're going to have some fun with it.
That's exciting.
But we're taking that learning that was maybe 4 years ago just being taught to me to now being taught. And you would probably share this, we're probably the only company that has 2 master coaches that are employed by Workman Success Systems in our company, right? So we just kind of, just Sarah and I and everybody else, we just kind of keep giving. Just give, share. Abundance is key.
The more you share, the more it comes back to help you on the other side.
Nate,
you gotta run.
Even if it doesn't come back to you, like, I just got to say this.
Yeah.
Watching somebody progress, right, from where they were before you met them, and then just teaching them these concepts, and, keeping them accountability, because accountability equals love, and watching them grow. Oh my God, it's pretty cool.
It is.
And I think I like that more than the financial return, to be honest with you.
That's why you're as successful as you are. Nate, thanks so much for sharing your ideas and being specific with resources and marketing and helping our listeners. I want to just say, on behalf of the Workman Success family, it's just a pleasure to have you as part of our group. We're proud of you. We're excited for your growth, and it's going to be fun to see what the next chapter looks like. So from all of us at Workman Success, here's another flash briefing. Thanks, and we'll talk to you all next week. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, guys.
If you are ready to level up your real estate business, set up a coaching consultation by sending an email to coach@workmansuccess.com. That's coach@workmansuccess.com.